Hello everyone. So today in this session we are going to cover the poem which is 3.1 Tartary. Okay. Now if you see the picture carefully, you can see a boy and certain things out there. You can see a bed, a lion, a musical instrument, a bird which is there at the corner which is peacock, the crown of a king, the earth, and the boy, right? Now you can see the boy is wearing a night dress, which means that boy is sleeping and he is dreaming, right? So the boy, the musical instruments, the birds, and the boy in the night dress, which further means that he's sleeping basically. So over here, Tartary means the world of imagination. Okay, the boy is imagining himself as the king of the kingdom and he's enjoying all the luxuries of life. Now, talking about the word Tartary. Over here, students, the R is silent and you pronounce it as Tartary. The first R is silent. Okay. So over here, what basically the poem tells us is this, that a boy over here is imagining things. He's imagining that he is the king of the kingdom and enjoying all the luxuries which you can see in the picture. The poet over here is Walter de la Mare. Okay, he's basically famous for writing poems which are imaginary. Okay, this poet is always famous for writing poems which are imaginary, in which you are forced to imagine things. So let us start with the poem. if i if I were lord of Tartary, myself and me alone, my bed should be of ivory, of beaten gold my throne, and in my court should peacock flaunt, and in my forest tigers haunt, and in my pools great fishes slaunt, the fiends athwart the sun. So what the boy is saying, students, that he's imagining that if I were the lord of Tartary, that if I would be the king of this Tartary, the imaginary world, myself and me alone, that he's not imagining any person with himself, he's all alone, and he's imagining that I am the king of this imaginary world, all alone. Okay, my bed should be of ivory, and what, see, you can see the picture, the bed should be of ivory. Ivory is a precious metal, right? Elephant's tusk is made up of ivory, and you know, many a times elephants are killed just for their tusk. It is that expensive. So what he's saying, that he wants his bed to be of ivory. Okay, that his bed is full of ivory, the precious metal, the expensive metal. Of beaten gold my throne, and the throne should be of beaten gold. Now what do you mean by beaten gold, student? Beaten gold is the shiny gold metal which is turned into sheets. Okay, so the throne should be of golden sheets, and in my court should peacock flaunt. Okay, court is the palace where he's staying, and in that palace the peacock should flaunt. Flaunt is to move here and there, and in my forest tigers haunt. Okay, haunt is to live or to visit, and in my pools great fishes slaunt. What do you mean by slaunt? Slaunt is swim. The fins athwart the sun. What do you mean by athwart, students? Athwart is little tilted, a little moved. So when the fishes would be there in the pools the sun would shine on them, and then they would move their fins. Okay, so what he's saying, that if I would be the lord of this imaginary world and I would be all alone, my bed should be of ivory, that my bed should be made up of ivory, that is expensive metal, and then my throne should be of shiny gold sheets, and then in his court, in his palace, peacocks would be there. Peacocks should move here and there, and tigers should live there. And then in his pools, okay, जो उनका pool होगा, उसमें he wants fish to slant is to swim, and their fins are toward the sun. Fins is their fins, you know, right? Fish का जो fins होता है, athwart the sun. Athwart is a little tilted. Okay, so that the shine of the sun should slant. And in my pools, great fishes slant their fins athwart the sun. कि जब वो सन का शाइन उनके फिश के फिन्स पे पड़ेगा, दे शुड मूव अ लिटिल, टिल्ट अ लिटिल, एंड देन स्टे इनटू स्विम इनटू दैट पूल्स. ओके, नेक्स्ट, if I were Lord of Tartary, trumpeters every day to every mill will summon me, and in my courtyard pray. Okay, what he's saying, and if I was the king of that imaginary world, trumpeters every day. Trumpeters is a musical instrument, and जो उनको बजाते हैं उनको trumpeters बोलते हैं. So what he's saying, that trumpeters should be there every day if I would be the king of Tartary. Why trumpeters to every mill would summon me? Okay, summon me मतलब क्या? They would call me. Okay, and every meal मतलब क्या? If I would have my breakfast, or if I would have my lunch, or if I would have my dinner, to every meal this trumpeter should call me. Okay, and then I would go there, and in my courtyard bray. Courtyard is student and open area. Okay, and bray means the sound which is made by donkey. So what he's saying, that in my courtyard there should be donkeys, and in the evening lamps would shine, yellow as honey, red as wine. Okay, now if you see in the kingdom, if you have ever seen a palace or kingdom, you would see that there are lights over there, you know, huge lights, अंधेरे में बहुत shine होता है वो. So these lights, what he's saying, that there would be lamps, and during night they would shine. How they would shine? See, the color is being compared. Yellow as honey, the yellow lamps honge, that would look like honey, it has been compared. And the red ones, the red lamps would look as wine. Okay, while harp and flute and mandolin made music sweet and gay. Gay over here means feel happy. Okay, and all of these, what he's saying, that whenever I would have my lunch, dinner, or any kind of meal, trumpeters should call me every time. Whenever trumpeters would call me, I would realize that yeah, it's my meal time. And then he wants donkeys to stay in his courtyard, and then he's further saying that the lamps over here would look as beautiful, and then the colors had been compared, yellow as honey and red as wine. While harp and flute and mandolin made music sweet and gay. And harp, flute and mandolin, students, these are musical instruments, and he's saying that all of these musical instruments would play in my courtyard, and that would make music sweet and gay, and this music would make me happy. And soft music सुनने में अच्छा लगता है, and that would make him sweet and happy. Okay, next, if I were Lord of Tartary, I would wear a robe of beads. Okay, robe of beads, sorry. Robe is the gown which you usually wear when a person, king जो होते हैं, the gown which they wear is called as a robe. So he's telling that if I would be the king of this imaginary world, I would wear robe. The जो robe पहनते ना king लोग वो, and that would be of beads. Beads मतलब क्या, छोटे छोटे beads, the diamond, the pearls and small beads. White and gold and grey they would be. Now over here also the beads, the color of beads is being compared. As we saw previously, the color of lamps were compared, yellow as honey, red as wine. And the same way over here, the robe which he is going to wear, they have beads on them, and the beads are of color white, gold and green, and clustered thick as seed. What do you mean by clustered? Clustered is together as seeds. Now if you see fruits, okay, fruits में कैसे seeds are clustered, they are together. In the same way, the robe which I would wear, उसके ऊपर जो beads होंगे, they would be together, and they would be of these three colors, white, gold and green. And ere should wane the morning star, I would don my robe and scimitar, and zebra 7 should draw my car through Tartary's dark glade. And what he's saying, and ere should wane the morning star. Ere is an old English word, student, which means before. And before the wane should wane the morning star. Wane is disappear, okay? And before the morning star, I would don my robe and scimitar. Okay, scimitar is the sword. I will show the picture over here. एक छोटा सा जो स्वॉर्ड होता है ना, चाकू जैसा, चाकू नहीं, तलवार जैसी जो छोटी सी होती है ना, मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम जो पंजाबीज होते हैं ना, उनके पास अपने पास होती है. दे हैव द स्मॉल स्वॉर्ड विद देम, that is called as scimitar. So what he is saying, that before the morning start, that soon, since the morning start, I would be ready wearing this robe of mine. जो robe का discussion हमने पहले देखा, that he wants a robe on which there would be beads and they would be clustered. So he's telling, before the morning time, I would be all ready with my robe on me and with my scimitar, and zebra 7 should draw my car through Tartary's dark glades. Glades is forest and dark is wild, so wild forest. And he's saying that I would be all ready with my robe and small sword, and then zebra should draw my car, and then zebra would take me to the forest of Tartaries. Understood? Next, lord of the fruits of Tartary, and then I would be also the lord of fruits of Tartary, के जो imaginary world है, in that the fruits which are present, I would be the lord of them. Her river silver plate. Silver plate is clear river, okay? The river over here is clear, and the water in the river is clear, and that is why it has said silver plate. Lord of the hills of Tartary, glen, thicket, wood and dale. Okay, what he is saying, that I would be the king of the forest, and the forest, the fruits which are coming in that forest, I would be the lord of that forest. And then he's saying, I am again the lord of the hills of Tartary, glen, thicket, wood and dale. Over here, glen and dale means narrow valley. जो पतली सी valley होती है. Now he's basically saying that there are mountains, there are valleys, and inside that valleys there are forests. Okay, so all of these things belongs to him because he is the king of that imaginary world. So glen and dell over here means narrow valley, and thicket and wood over here. Thicket is dense and wood is forest. Okay, so he's saying that he has valleys and forest in his Tartary, and he is the king of those things. Flashing stars. Flashing stars means when rivers, when sunrise, when sun shines on the river. Okay, the shine which a river get, आपने यूजुअली देखा होगा जब सन लाइट रिवर पे फॉल होती है तो पानी शाइन होता है, एंड दैट इज वाई इट इज सेड फ्लैशिंग स्टार्स. Her scented breeze. Scented breeze. Now what do you mean by scented breeze? Scented is when you grow beautiful flowers around you, they smell beautiful. And breeze, the जो smell होता है that spreads into the air, and that is why the breeze over there smells beautiful. And also sometimes fruits के भी smell आते हैं, so that is why they are saying the sweet smell of fruit and flowers over here means scented breeze. A trembling lake like foamless seas. Foamless seas. Now if you have seen, student, if you see waterfall or something like that, when the water is in extreme pressure, you can see foams are formed, सर्फ जैसा नीचे बन जाता है. So that what he's saying, that the water are falling so fastly with so much of pressure that foamless seas are formed. Her bird delighting citron trees. What do you mean by citron? Citron is trees which have lemon-like fruits on them, and the birds are being delighting. Birds are chirping. Birds are happy. Why they are happy? Because it's forest everywhere. There are trees. There are fruits everywhere. There are lakes everywhere, and the bird is very happy. And then the bird is delighting. Delighting is happy. In every purple whale. See over here also the river has been compared to purple. Whale is river and purple is the color which has been given to that river. Maybe because the flowers which are growing near them would be purple, and that is why the poet has given purple color. Understood, student? The poet over here is Walter de la Mare. Okay. Now coming towards summary, let us see the summary of the poem. Tartary is the poem which is written by Walter de la Mare. De la Mare is about an imagined kingdom called Tartary. The poet is like a child which imagines himself as the lord of the kingdom, which is full of pleasures and beauty. It is a dreamy presentation of the riches of the world. He thinks of having a bed made up of ivory and a throne decorated with beaten gold. He wishes to see dancing peacocks in his court, rolling tigers in his forest, and fishes swimming sideways in the pool. He dreamed that trumpeters would invite him to every meal by playing harsh sounds like a donkey in his courtyard. The evening is the time when lamps would shine with red and yellow color. Honey and wine have been used to describe the sweetness and intoxicating mood and ambience. The poet has talked about some musical instruments like harp, flute, and mandolin, which provides an unusual and exotic feeling of extreme joy. The poet himself imagines himself putting on a long loose garment richly woven with white, green, and golden beads and pearls. Early in the morning he would wear a different long garment and carry a sharp sword. He imagines that zebras would pull his cart through the dark valley of Tartary, his kingdom. He would own all the fruits of his kingdom and be the owner of all the shiny rivers, not only the hill and valleys of Tartary, but also its fishing stars, pleasant wind, and lakes with shivering surface would belong to him. He visualized himself as the owner of the trees laden with lemon-like fruits and all the beauties of Tartary. Reading this poem is like passing through a dream which talks about all the possible luxuries and comforts of life. Now student, over here there are certain words and I have said the meaning of them. Okay, so you can refer this thing. Now coming towards your workshop part, come to page number 56. Over there, sub question 1. Find out the words that mean the following from the first stanza. Okay, you have to write the meaning of the words. Tilt or move at an angle. During the discussion of the poem, we have already discussed the words. I think sub question 1 is easy and you guys can do it as homework. Now coming towards sub question 2. Find the names of the exotic musical instruments and animals mentioned in the poem. So you have to write the musical instrument and animals which are mentioned. So musical instrument हमने देखा. The musical instruments were harp, flute, mandolin, and the animals mentioned were peacock, tiger, and fish. Okay, coming towards the next question. In the last stanza, there are 3 or 4 little words that refers to a beautiful valley. Find out those. So in the last stanza, you know which one is referred to valley. I explained you do meaning valley ka hai and do means forest. So even that you can write as homework. So sub question 3 again is your homework. Sub question 4. From the poem, find 3 lines that use of comparison, in which comparison is done. Also, this was explained by me during the poem कि कौन से चीज़ों में comparison हो रहा है. So again, this would be your homework. Now, sub question 5. Color, sound, and images from nature add to the beauty of poem. Tartary is a perfect example of the above. Pick out lines that contains color. So you have to find or you have to pick the line from the poem which explains about color, which explains about sounds, and which explain images from nature. Again, this is easy student and this would be your homework. Sub question 6. Complete the following phrases with the help of poem. You have to just complete the phrases, the words which are mentioned in the poem, which is related to music, river, breeze, lake, etc. So again, this is your homework students. Next, write about the daily routine of Lord of Tartary in 8 to 10 lines. You have to write about the daily routine, what he must be doing if he is the king of Tartary. So now you have understood the poem and you can write this as in homework. Sub question 8. Use your imagination. Write about a beautiful region, its landforms, water bodies, flora and fauna, night sky, people, etc. So you have to just imagine a place and describe about this forms, all of these like water bodies, flower, fruits, night sky, people, etc. This is your own explanation. I want you all to write. Think आपने एक कोई तो चीज़ अब तक ऐसी place visit की होगी, right? उसके बारे में you have to explain. Again, this is your homework. Coming to sub question 9, language study. Consonants. What do you mean by consonant, student? It is basically repetition of one or more consonant sound, especially at the end of the word, which is pleasant to hear. Examples are given: pitter patter, river silver pale, the lint was sent with the tent, all's well that ends well. Okay, so basically the one which ends. So now you have to find examples of consonant from poem that you study in this book. So all the poems which are there in the book, you have to find consonants. Okay, so this is like an activity which you have to do. So students, coming to homework, basically entire workshop is your homework, starting from sub question 1. 2 is something which I have discussed with you. तो 2 को छोड़ के 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is your homework. So yeah, students, that was it for today's session. I hope you have understood the poem. I hope you have understood all the meanings or the explanation of this poem. So see you all in the next session. Till then, bye bye and take care. Bye.